Let's say hypothetically you were to talk to a scout about your linebacking core. What would you tell them about each of your guys?
Yeah, well, I was just talking to one, so that's a good question.
Not why I asked.
That's a good question. So like really excited about our senior guys, our veteran guys. Brian, Bryce, Rinaldi, those guys have all been in the program for 4 or 5 years. So seeing their growth and development has been awesome. They are all, I think, like top level SEC players, and I think part of it is like they've grown and developed. They've had their exposures. They've all had success and shown that they can have success on a big stage in big moments. Like we've trusted them in the biggest moments with our program the last couple of years. And even when they were freshmen and sophomores, when they maybe weren't quite ready for it, and now to see that materialize the last couple of years and for them to be impact players has been awesome. I think all three can play at the next level. Obviously, the thing that we talk with them about is your goal and your mission is to help Vanderbilt football win as many games as possible, and that's what's at the forefront of their mind. Like all those guys are selfless team players, and they have been for their entire careers. And I can't wait to see them like in their journeys this year to just elevate their game to the next level. All of them, in certain ways, can elevate their game so that they're ready to unleash, so that we can have the best year we can have on defense, and then also so that that'll help, with their NFL futures. But I think all three of them, like the cool part about it is all three of them have different skill sets. Brian's like super instinctual, great anticipation, nose for the ball. He's going to find it every play, like great blitz, tempo, timing, target, all that stuff. Rinaldi, so versatile, like can play all 3 downs. He's a 3-down linebacker. Brian will show that this year also. But he's a great pass rusher, great in coverage. He's a student of the game, super smart. He's become a really instinctual player over the last couple of years. And then Bryce is just super athletic, long, very physical, very violent in block destruction. He's shown that on special teams, and he has become a 3-down player over the last couple of years. So I'm really excited about that. So when I talk about those guys with scouts, it's like, it's awesome. I'm glad that they are recognizing and noticing the work that those guys have put in and the production that they've had on tape. And I still think that they're being underestimated, So that's a cool part, is that we have a chip on our shoulder, underdog mentality. We're always trying to prove what we can do. One, to help the team win, and then also so that we can make sure that we help our journeys for the future.
What have you seen out of Bryce's development that makes you think he could take on a bigger role this year?
One, I would say his professional approach off the field. And, when you come in as a freshman, he's being dropped into a completely different environment than he's ever been used to. And he's been battling over the last 4 years to become a pro before he's a pro. So the approach has been professional. He attacks the weight room, and that's something that he's grown and developed over the years. And then in terms of him being a student of the game, like he's, rather than just, hey, I need to know what I do, like just tell me what I do. And that the first 2-3 years, it was probably more of an exercise in that, hey, you have this and this call, you have this and this call. Now he's asking the questions of the next level. Hey, what does this guy have around me? Hey, where's the safety rotating here? Hey, when they're in this set right now, I know that the offense is going to do this. So it's like me, what I do, then it's us, what are we doing as a defense? And then the next level is what are they doing as an offense? He has hit all those 3 boxes, and he's also now the best measure, I think, of how you can tell a guy is developing is when they start to coach the other players. So he's now coaching our younger guys. Hey man, when you got, the split of the X is cut and the back's wide, you gotta get ready to take the free release of the back. Like he's talking and coaching our guys and speaking our language. That's how I know he's ready to take the next step.
Where do you want to see Nick Rinaldi grow the most?
Nick is probably, like I said, he's the most versatile player that we have. His approach has also become a professional approach. And when Nick came in, obviously the joke is like, oh, Nick never saw football before he got to Vandy. Like, that's not true. He played a little bit of football before he got here. But I would say that, when Nick came here, I bet his goals and priorities were a little different than they are right now, because he realized about halfway through his freshman year, probably maybe more so through his sophomore year when he started to make big impact plays, dude, I can play this at a high level. And if I play at a high level, I'll help be an impact player for the team and, potentially a captain one day and then maybe have a career in this after. Like, he's knocking at the door of that right now. And I think that he's grown so much in terms of his love of the game. Like, he loves the game now. And I don't know if and maybe he'll tell you something different. I don't know if he always loved it. He loves it now. And So that's been really cool to see because he's watching as much tape or more tape than I'm watching. He's in my office all the time, you know, on the remote, you know, watching film. And now he's, like I was saying about Bryce, he's coaching the younger players now. So he's become a voice and an extension of the coaches, and that's been the cool part to see about him.
You talked about Bryce playing violent. What does that look like based on what, you know, people might think? What does that look like from your perspective?
Yeah, so when you're a linebacker, like your ability to beat blocks is critical to your production. So you're gonna get blocked, or they're gonna attempt to block you on every run play in particular. And the way that you approach a block is gonna separate you from the blocker, and you can be able to then play the ball. When Bryce has his mind made up, he's long, he's twitchy, he takes the fight to the blocker, and there's nobody in the country that can block him. Like, seen it over and over again in games and in practice, where when he has his mindset, like, dude, this tight end, I know he's gonna be blocking me on this play, I'm gonna lock him out violently and have some like malintent in my heart, and I'm gonna lock him out and I'm gonna shut him off. I refuse to be blocked. Like, that mentality is something that he has, and it's a consistent basis. And he knows, and this is something that we worked on since he was a freshman, sophomore. He didn't always have that in his mind. He wasn't ready to quite unleash like his skill set that he had, being long and being twitchy and all that. And when he made the decision, dude, I refuse to be blocked. Like, I'm gonna refuse to be blocked. There's nobody that's block me. When he made that decision, it's like, dude, it all clicked into place for him. And the other thing with him that's allowed him to grow is his attention to his pad level. He's a taller, longer guy, so naturally there's gonna be a tendency to have high hips, and to, especially when you're tired, you're gonna be standing up. His ability to lock into being like, hey, I'm sinking my hips, I'm low, pad level, all that stuff, that unlocks the rest of his game, and he's become more and more consistent with that.
Time for one more.
I wanted to press in on something with Bryce. I think you basically gave me my answer, but I wanted to hear it right. Because we would see him in practice make a lot of plays.
Yep.
And then there would be a disconnect. We'd get to games and we didn't see him out there as much. Was it that tendency to just refuse to be blocked? Was that the thing? Was that the gap he closed between the highlights and being able to get on the field?
I think so. And I think with him, and this is something that we've talked about a bunch, is just consistency. Like, he's gonna make, over the years, you guys have seen since his sophomore year, he'll make splash plays. And like, he had a pick six against Auburn his sophomore year. Kentucky, he forced 2 turnovers. I think they overturned a couple of them, but like, he will produce havoc. Last year, South Carolina, you know, strip sack, Utah State forced fumble, all that stuff, Tennessee forced fumble. He will make the flash plays. And now it's a matter of if he can play 50 or 60 plays in a game, being as consistent as possible. The more plays he plays, the more plays he's gonna make. Now it's a matter of being consistent and making sure that I can fit up the run where I'm supposed to fit and not let a ball crease for, you know, a first down or explosive play and all that stuff. So the consistency piece with him in his execution has been the thing that he's grown the most over the last few years, and that'll be the thing that allows him to play a ton this year and get even more production.